Hey guys, welcome back with Steven here with Today in DeFi, back here with our weekly airdrop farming alpha. So we're going to follow up some stuff that we actually mentioned last week on some airdrop checkers, airdrop claims, and some interesting alpha that is actionable and you can participate right now. So first of all is False Finance. Last week is their airdrop checker, but right now it's their airdrop claim now live on their platform here for season 1. So if anyone has been interacting with this protocol here, if you got some points, if you got some NFTs that is also related to False Finance, you can actually check for your eligibility here and claim your Fox right now, and it's trading on multiple chexes already right now. And interestingly, there is Athena Season 4 airdrop claims. I am not eligible on this wallet, but yeah, it's liquefy airdrops. So if you have been using USDE, farming it on different protocols, or even farming it on Pendle, farming YTs, or liquidity providing on Pendle, or even like only holding USDE passively, you'll be eligible by the time or the time period that you are holding USDE. Yeah, I think most of you guys are actually holding USDE if you're very DeFi native. This airdrop claim could be yours to watch here. And just to remind you that we actually mentioned Guide AID migration and its upcoming Pendle market listing. So if you have been looking out for Guide's AID market on Pendle, if you ate on the PT after the listing here on 11%, I think you have made some good profits there. But 9% right now would be quite interesting actually to enter. It's consolidating right now here and up on the hourly chart. By the way, everything stated here is not a financial advice. Please do your own research. This is our internal analysis, and everything stated here is our own. And yeah, so you guys will be responsible for your own profits and also your own losses. This video only serves as a reference or an idea, right? So when it launches, 8% implied yield, and people have been aping the YTs, and I think the price of AID also went up after this, as people are actually quite hyped about the yields and the AID and Guide's points program that is now ongoing. But you can actually buy more AID because the caps are fully raised. All you can do actionable is if you had AID alpha, you can now migrate to AID, but you can actually still farm their airdrop points by buying their YT with stable points here, and you can get handsome multipliers here. You can get like 4 times Spice multiplier. It's called Spice, the points program they're having. It's called Spice. You can get 4 times Spice multiplier for each YT that you bought. So right now the implied yield is still above the opening implied yield here, implied yield launch here on 8%. So yeah, I think majority of the people are still actually holding the YTs, and maybe some think that is overvalued because overvalued on 13% or 14% here. Why is the 7 days underlying APY still 0? Because on Guide's website itself, they don't actually, but yeah, you can actually check out the Pendle markets here. It's a pretty accurate reference on people's expectations because it's a pretty big protocol and it's very well known for yield trading. So this implied yield will actually reflect people's expectation and people's valuation on the yield of AID. Alright, so that's for the follow-ups. And this week's airdrop alpha, we're gonna actually show you some interesting one. It's called Nest. Nest is an RWA, it's Plume's network, it's an RWA-Fi project, it's a RWA chain, and yeah, Nest is on Plume. So Nest is Plume's high-end vault. It's like a yield aggregator here. So this is like one of their strategies here. It's called Nest Basis. You get Nest Treasuries, you get Nest Institutional, Nest Credit, Nest Wisdom Tree, yeah, all of these institutional and RWA real-world assets strategies here. And right now, they actually launched their points program here. It's called PNP. So the points are called PNP. And okay, so I know a lot of controversies have been going on here for vault tokens. And so I'm going to invite you all to actually look at the transparency here on Nest. So it's quite clear on the strategies that they're using here. So on this vault, specifically on Nest Basis, this is not a financial advice, it's just an example. So on Nest Basis itself, they're allocating here 75% into basis strategy on Superstate USDC, 25% on US Treasuries, targeting 4% on USTB. Please do mind the wording here, target APY. That means the APY could be above or could be below 9% or 4%. The only way to actually confirm this is actually go into the website. You can click here and go into the website here. First of all, the 75% is allocated into USCC, the crypto carry fund. And as the name, it's actually trading crypto basis, so it's trading the differential between the spot and the future price strategies, and they're investing like coin or SOL basis, including staking ETH and hedging ETH with it, and also staking SOL and hedging SOL with it. So yeah, this is quite interesting to look at because the assets under management for Superstate is quite huge. It's like almost 600 million, and yeah, they're quite transparent here and on their networks. They're on here on Ethereum, on Plume, on Solana, so it's very transparent here, and you can see the asset under management historically and even the yields. So they're quite honest with the yields as well, even though it's trending lower, but they're honest with it. So this is actually quite a green flag. So they're not actually manipulating the data, and you can actually estimate the yield because they're doing funding rate basis trading. So you can actually go to CoinGlass or any other website to see the level of rates right now. So yeah, you can see here the rates lower, and you can also see here the funding rates being quite high around July to August. So that explains here on August it's still high, but as time goes on right now, the funding rate is going lower as stated on the Bitcoin chart here. You can also check for ETH. Yeah, the same for ETH and also for Solana. The funding rates pretty much move in the same directions for most of the big markets here, like BTC, ETH, and Solana. And the other one here is for the short duration US government securities fund. So they're investing treasury that has shorter maturity, so it's more liquid. And yeah, they're quite transparent here as well for the yield. As we all know, the risk-free yield has not been good for US treasuries. So yeah, this actually reflects the same with the US treasury rates right now. And yeah, again, the networks and even the DeFi integrations here, you can take a look and you can actually confirm the details of the contact addresses for each of the networks here on Ethereum, Solana, and also Plume. And they integrated with some protocols here like Aave, and they stated of USTB they're actually holding right now. You can check the details on the contact addresses on DBank or at Etherscan if it's on Ethereum and if it's on Solana. Alright, so that's for Nest. An interesting thing about Nest is that these vault tokens are actually composable, so you can actually go to Morpho and make sure you check on Plume. It will bring you to Morpho Lite, and yeah, you can actually lend these strategy vaults as a collateral on Morpho and actually loop with Plume stablecoin here. It's called PUSD. If you want a complete guide on how to actually get PUSD, we actually provided this in our premiums, but we're not gonna show it right here to respect our premium members. But yeah, this is one of the interesting strategies that we actually get here, and these are the borrowing rates for PUSD for each of the collaterals that you are providing here. So this might be an interesting loop, especially on top of the points program that they're having here. 32% is high, 30-day APY. And please do note about 8.82% is from the RWA strategies. In this case, in Nest basis, it's also based on funding rate basis trading, and most of the rewards are on PNP points that will be live later on the TGE for Nest. So you might have to wait for the TGE to happen to actually harvest those APYs. Alright, and another interesting farm or airdrop farming is none other than Neutral. So Neutral, we actually showed Neutral since the pre-deposit vault with K3 Capital and Upshift right here, and we actually showed this like a very long time ago, and 3 weeks later, finally Neutral is actually launched for the public. So everyone can now actually mint NUSD or stake it into SNUSD to actually accrue yield from OTC acquired coins. And yeah, they're also doing basis trading upon OTC acquired will actually be more discounted because they claim to actually get those stable coins from institutions or private investors, so they can get it in a discount to actually. And what they're doing is they're actually hedging by shorting it on futures and holding spot forward coins that they acquired there. So it's more or less like Athena, but what makes it different is they actually acquired the alts from OTC. So that's what makes it different. This is for new to USD. A lot of ways to actually get the points here. You can mint it right now and get daily points, or you can stake it and also get daily points. So right now I think it's earning around, there's no APY yet, it's very new, but I think it's around 5 to 7%, more or less like Athena. Or if they are claiming if they're claiming like they have discounted OTC, then the yield must be higher than what Athena is offering right now, because it's also newer, and yeah, the opportunities might, the spread from the spot and the futures might be way better in that way. So you can actually check on our latest free letter about neutral here, and you can check the transparency dashboard that the owner has been showing here. So yes, transparency has been a really important thing to do, and we are trying to break down the transparencies for each of the protocols that we're covering, because we do know, we actually see what happened and what went wrong for Stream, for Elixir, and we don't want to be involved in those problems. So these are the transparency dashboard that Neutral is having with Accountable. So they're using ZK Proof technology here to have a live verification actually. So if they're moving the funds into somewhere new, like Stream did, it will be noticeable from this dashboard here by Accountable. So all of this is on our free letter, and just like its name, it's free. So you can now subscribe to the free letter, it's completely free, and get the latest update launches or catalyst on DeFi that actually matters, and we use it ourselves for trading or even participating on these public sale like Monad here, regulatory updates, some cool integrations here for Jupiter might be a hidden catalyst, some important buybacks by Resolve here, and even like proposals that are usually upcoming, we show them and we explain the significance on it. So yeah, that's, and also airdrops if you are interested. That's why you're watching this video. So the most updated airdrop section would be actually on the free letter every day. So yeah, keep yourself updated on DeFi news that matters, and get yourself some alpha and earn with us. And alright, I think that's it for today's video. If you do enjoy it and got a lot of alpha, please do and subscribe to our YouTube, because it's completely free and it's our content. And that's all from us, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one, next week.